Hello everyone, Kaoz here, and welcome to another Old School Runescape video. Today we'll take a look at the best items you receive after completing certain quests and ranking them from most to least useful. Before we start, I should mention two important things. One, this is my opinion and your list might be different, and two, this video is relevant up to its release since there will be new quests in the future, but I'll try to give my thoughts on new items in the description as they come out. Now I'll tell you how these items will be ranked. I made 5 categories being vital, important, relevant, situational, and unimportant. These items will be placed in these categories according to how relevant they are once your account reaches a very high level. In this video though, I will only focus on the first 2 categories as to not make it that long, and the other 3 categories and its contents will be listed in the description below. For example, even though Ghost Speak Amulet is important for several quests, I placed it on the lowest category and I won't talk about it since it's not useful once you get to do high level activities. On the other hand, even though the ecto file, for example, is extremely easy to get, it is placed on the highest category since it is a very quick way to travel and you will use it for pretty much as long as you play. Other than the categories themselves, the items will be in no particular order. Finally, this video will be unscripted starting now, since I won't write my thoughts on every item, but rather I'll give you my quick opinion on each one as they appear on the list. So let's begin. Alright, and now for the unscripted part of the video, which means you guys will have to bear with me for any brain farts, stutters, or if I don't remember something exactly as it is in the game. Also, this is my second take on this video. I believe the first one was too long, so I'm not going to talk about these items in great detail. Rather, I'm going to tell you which quests they are from and why they are useful and why I think you should keep all these items. And like I said before, you can also check the description to check pretty much all the items you get after every single quest, so you can decide if you want to keep these for your adventures. So let's begin. First, we have the vital category. First, we have the Barrow's Gloves from Recipe for Disaster. Not a lot to mention here. This is pretty much the second best in slot for melee after the Kaoz Lowlands update, since we're gonna get a better pair of gloves for melee. I believe they are also best in slot for range and as well second best in slot for magic. They are not, I don't know the exact stats against, every competitor, but you can tell that these are the best thing you can get, especially after the quest, and they are going to help you get better things in the future. So you kind of want to get these as soon as you can. Next, we have the Magic Secateurs from Fairy Tale 1. This is going to increase your yield from herbs, and you are barely going to see anyone not using them if you see them on the patches, since this will increase the amount of herbs you get after every patch. Next, we have all the Ava or Ava, whatever. All the backpacks and you get after animal magnetism. You have the accumulator, the assembler, and the attractor, which that one is, I believe, the worst one. The assembler being available after Dragon Slayer 2, so you want to aim for that, and pretty much the best in slot when it comes to range, since it saves you a lot of bolts and darts, or all the throwing things that you can actually get. Next, we have the Salve Amulet from Haunted Mine. You can actually better or make this even better after a mini quest that you can do after this. After you obtain it, and you can also imbue it with 9 Mirzone points, which is going to give you an even better boost to, I believe, undead enemies. So pretty much you want to use this on Vorkath to do even more damage, or if you also want to use it on Slayer tasks, that it's going to be better. Next, we have the Dark Light from Shadow of the Storm. You can combine this with ancient shards that you get in the Catacombs of Korend, or if you do, the Slayer at the Zeya, the dungeon, whatever. If you combine those two, you get the Arc Light, which is what we are focusing on here, which is pretty much mandatory when it comes to slaying either Skatizo, if that's how you pronounce it, or demonic gorillas, or black demons, or all of those. Next, we have the Elf Crystal from Morning's End Part 1, and this is a one-click teleport to Ledia. This is especially useful if you have Slayer tasks regarding elves, or if you want to check your fruit tree that you can actually plant in there. Next, we have the Holy Wrench from Rum Deal. This is going to give you some extra prayer points when you drink either a prayer potion or a super restore. It doesn't save that much, but in the long run, it's going to, be able to save you a lot of prayer potions, especially if you are doing something that doesn't require that much. Next we have Drakon's Medallion from A Taste of Hope. This is a one-click teleport to the Theater of Blood. I don't think there's a minigame teleport to this area, so you pretty much need this because getting there by foot is one of the most painful things you can do. Last one we have the ecto file from Ghost Ahoy. This is pretty much mandatory as well when it comes to farming. This is, I believe, the best way you can get to the northeastern farm patch, and you are going to see this being used a lot, especially for people who do their farm runs. Next on the important category, we have the Mythscape from the Dragon Slayer 2 quest. This is a teleport to the Myths Guild, which is also a pretty important area we'll talk about later. We have the Royal Seed Pod from Monkey Madness 2. This is a one-click teleport to the Tree Gnome Stronghold, you know, with the king. This is especially useful because you can use it, I believe, at level 30 Wilderness, which, if you're doing something dangerous or whatever, you can, you know, have a few more levels of saving grace. Next we have the Dwarven helmet from Grim Tales. This is especially useful because it is the best in slot helmet when it comes to crush bonuses, and this is needed for an achievement diary, I believe, from Falador. Next we have the Death Talisman from Morning's End Part 2. There's really no reason to craft the runes or death runes that is not through the Abyss, but still, you kind of want to keep this. I believe it's an important item. Next we have the Crystal Bow or Shield from Roving Elves. The Crystal Shield, I think, is the best in slot when it's fully charged, and the Crystal Bow is also pretty useful when you want to either slay Jad or if you don't have anything that is especially strong. Next we have all the skill gloves from Family Crest, that is the cooking gloves and the Goldsmith gauntlets. This is an incredible way to train your cooking as well as smithing once you get to do once you have a lot of money, especially to train smithing with gold, and the cooking gauntlets are, you know, pretty useful to not burn as much food. Next we have the Helm of Metis. I believe this is the second best in slot for melee. I believe the first one is a Serpentine Helm, but this is pretty much your best bet if you're not wearing the Serpentine Helm and the Slayer Helm if you are doing anything regarding combat. Next we have the Seal of Passage from Lunar Diplomacy. This is kind of mandatory to talk to anyone on the island. If you haven't done Dream Mentor, you can't really do anything in there, especially bank, so you want to, you know, wear that and, you know, keep it if you want to do something in the island itself. Next we have the Keyring from One Small Favor, and this is not exactly, you know, that useful, but it's better to have one of these items to store all your keys rather than having 9 or 10 bank slots just dedicated to keys. You're not going to use it that often, but still a pretty nice item to get. Last but definitely not least, we have the Crystal Saw from Eyes of Golfrey. This is going to give you a +3 invisible boost to your construction level, so you can pretty much get a max house, I believe, you know, from a 96 construction, which is going to be pretty nice. However, this is going to have, I believe, in between 20 and 30 charges when it comes to something that you can build if you don't have the required level, so you'll have to recharge it later. And that's pretty much it. Those are all the important items in my opinion. As I said before, all of the other ones are going to be in the description below. I'm only going to have the items, the names of the items, as to, you know, if you want to check them out, I guess, in the future or whatever. But yeah, those are, in my opinion, the most important ones. If you, you know, have all of these, that's great. If you don't, you can actually get them and, you know, put them to good use. I haven't gotten to the outro part of the video, but hopefully this is enough. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video where we are going to talk about the best areas you get after completing quests. So thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you later.